Hello everybody, Mobius1 here, bringing you another Star Wars Galaxies emulator episode. This episode, we're going to be talking about the basics of black sun hunting. It's actually not as complicated as some would think, but I get a lot of questions about what level do I need to be, how difficult is it soloable? So I figured I'd make a short video just showing you exactly how I do it, and that way you can see exactly how tough they are. And you might even learn a couple techniques. So, first of all, I believe any master level combat profession in the game should be able to solo black sun hunting as long as you have armor and buffs. So, as always, I have my full suit of composite, though a mini suit would work just as well. Full entertainer buffs, full doctor buffs, and I also have some Viserion brandy in case I need to boost my mind. I also have some Muon gold to use in an emergency, which is just spice that also increases mine. My flash speeder's half destroyed, so I'm just going to pull out a swoop instead. Alright, so now Black Sun spawns have been added to 3 planets. They're currently on Dathomir, Yavin, and Endor. So I am here on Yavin. I landed at the Labor Outpost in the southwest corner. I think it's important to make a waypoint for both of the starports, so just so you have them, so you can see, how close you are to either of them. But right now, since the emulator crew haven't got the localized spawning implemented yet, you literally just have to drive around the entire planet. These guys can spawn anywhere on the planet's surface right now. Luckily, they're not spawning in water. At least I haven't seen any mobs spawning in water, so I don't believe they are. But that's really the only restriction. They can spawn anywhere else on land. So, some people will recommend using the slower X-34 speeder because of the way the dynamic spawns work in this game. Is sometimes the mobs will tend to spawn behind you. I don't find that necessary. I haven't had any problems finding them just riding like a swoop or a flash speeder. But what I will do is I will zoom my minimap all the way out, not all the way out, I'll zoom it out to 512 meters. And make sure you have this con box checked. I see a lot of people actually don't use this. I did mention this in one of my early episodes, but basically the con box will show you the difficulty of the enemies relative to your character, or I guess your group if you're in a group. See, right now I can just see yellow dots, white dots, and red dots. But if I hit this con box, you get these rings around them that actually show you the difficulty of them. And that's important for this because using the minimap, we can actually tell what groups of mobs are black sun without even seeing them because of the color they spawn, or the color they con rather. So black sun mobs will con red, at least they do for me, but I'm pretty sure if you're solo, they're gonna con red anyway. If you're in a group, that might be different. So any of these dots that are popping up that either have white rings or blue rings, I don't even need to mouse over them to see what they are, because I know they're not black sun. Now, on Yavin, and I've only done black sun hunting on Yavin so far, I haven't been to Endor or Dathomir yet, but there are only there's only one other type of NPC or mob that spawns, or that cons red, and that is like a Kilnick or something? Kinlick? I don't know, I'm sure we'll see. It's some insectoid creature. But other than that, the black suns are the only ones that should con red. Now, there really isn't a way to do this, like a real technique to do this. If you do have a Master Ranger, you can use the Master Ranger's NPC track ability, or area track, and then track for NPCs to try and find them. But the range on the area track ability is 500 meters. And as you can see here, we have our radar zoomed out to 500 meters. That's not really a whole lot of ground. I even have a Master Ranger myself, which I plan on using to make a Master Ranger guide in the future. But when I tried doing it, like it doesn't seem to help as much as it should. because you can't use the area track on your swoop, and it requires you to stand, you know, the animation for it takes a couple seconds. So I could be wrong, but I feel like using area track on the Ranger is actually slower than just driving around. Now clearly you don't get a... You can't see NPCs that pop up. Here's a red one. Oh, look at this. Black Sun already. So we just started and we've already found our first group. Not bad at all. It looks like a pair. Yeah, so far we've found groups spawn in pairs, or in groups of 2 to 4. So it looks like we've got 2 Black Sun guards here. Now here's the thing. The Black Sun, they will attack you. Most of them are equipped with light lightning cannons. I'm not sure if they all are, but let's first look at their resistances. So, they have medium armor, kinetic and energy resist 40%. So the only thing less than 40% is heat and acid. So if you're a pistolier and you have a DX2 or DX6 or whatever it is that does acid damage, that's a good thing to use. Heat, so any weapons that do heat damage, flamethrower, I know a couple other weapons do heat damage also, the names escape me. Those are your best weapons to use. Other than that, anything that does kinetic or energy is still good. So the only thing you really don't want to use, you don't want to use a light lightning cannon or anything that does electricity, and you don't want to use a power hammer or anything else that might do blast. Cold also not so good, but kinetic and energy is fine. Next thing you need to know is that they will, with Publish 7 now, they will attack you with their light lightning cannons if you are further than melee range, which melee range is about 5 to 10 meters. So, and since enemies in Publish 7 are using special attacks, these guys will actually use overcharge shot on you. And the overcharge shot with the light lightning cannon can do some serious damage. And I'll try and demonstrate that. It's a good thing I'm a doctor because I can heal myself. But if you're not a doctor, or if they hit your mind pool, it can cause problems. So ideally, you want to get them into melee range, because once they're in melee range, they'll switch to melee combat, and they don't have any hard-hitting melee special abilities, so it actually makes tanking them way, way easier. It's also possible to pull them one at a time. So notice how I positioned myself so that I kind of have them in a line. And obviously, if there's more than 2 in the group, it can be a little bit trickier if, you know, 2 of them are standing pretty close together. But what you can do, position them in a line like this, target the closest one. Their aggro range is about 30 meters. So I'm looking in the top right corner now, I'm at 36. I'm going to hold shift and walk towards this NPC until I see the little exclamation point pop over his head, which should be right about here. So there's the exclamation point. There, he's aggroed on me and he's shooting at me. So now I'm going to actually run away from the group, and he's going to chase me. So I'm pulling him away from the other one. Once he's a safe distance away from the other one, I'm going to close in on him. And once I get close to him, that's when he switches to melee combat. And from here, I can one-on-one fight him and not really worry about my health. The armor and the buffs will really keep you protected. These guys do a lot of states. As you can see, they knock you down. They will dizzy you, so the dizzy knockdown combo is no fun. Stun, blind, intimidate. I think they may also do bleeds, but their bleeds aren't really that strong, so it's okay. Also, there are several different types of Black Sun NPCs, though as far as I know, they all have a chance of dropping the loot, which we haven't even talked about in this episode yet. But let's see what they drop, and then I'll talk about that after this group. So the guards are the second strongest ones that you can find out here. The strongest ones you'll find are Black Sun assassins. Then you have guards. Then you have henchmen, and then you have thugs. Or I might have gotten that backwards. It might be thugs and then henchmen, but they're about the same. So honestly, it doesn't make that much of a difference. The guards, how much ham does this guy have? He's got about 24,000, 25,000 ham. The assassins have a little bit more. But as long as you focus on one health pool, either health action or mind, they don't take that long. Then looted him. Hey, a locked container. That's not bad. I'll hold on to that. Alright, so let's see if I can demonstrate how much damage this overcharge shot does. So again, aggro range of about 30 meters. So I'm going to close in. There's 30 meters right there. Oop, 31. There's 30. Alright, so he's not aggroing at 29, 28. There we go. Alright, so if I keep him at ranged combat range, you'll see their basic attacks don't do too much damage, but every once in a while you'll get this nice chunk taken out of you. Yes, I know my target's too far to attack. Alright, so he's hitting me for about 280, 121, that's not bad. There's 357's a little bit worse, but even that's not the serious one. 230. Come on, man, I'm giving you a free... There we go, 474 is a pretty big hit. But I'm pretty sure that there's an even stronger one. Alright. Anyway, you don't want to... You want to try not to keep them at range, is the point. Even if you're a ranged combat profession, like a rifleman or whatever, you'll be better off just closing the gap and finishing them off up close. Maybe, I guess if you have range damage mitigation, it might not be so bad, but I just recommend getting close and finishing them off up close, because then you know there's no way that they're going to kill you. Let's see if we get anything off of this guy. So the point of doing these Black Suns is they actually drop things that you cannot get off of the Black Sun NPCs that spawn in the Deathwatch bunker. They drop Bounty Hunter armor. Nah, just credits off of him. They drop Bounty Hunter armor, which I actually happen to have one piece to show you. This is a Bounty Hunter Bicep armor. Bicep armor. The colors right now are chosen randomly, though that will be patched at some point to make it so that it only spawns with a gray base and blue trim. So any Bounty Hunter armor that you loot now will actually probably be fairly valuable after the patch, because you won't be able to color it any other way. The Bounty Hunter armor, while it is equipable, you can tell by the stats it's not very good. 25% to kinetic energy, electric, blast, and cold. Vulnerabilities to stun, heat, acid. Very low encumbrance though, and it looks really cool. I mean, that's what these Black Sun guys are wearing. So if you like the armor they're wearing, just kill enough of them and eventually you'll get a set of it. But more importantly, Black Sun armor is used as a crafting component for Mandalorian armor within the Deathwatch bunker. Now, that whole process is something that I'm going to cover in a Deathwatch bunker guide in the future. But it's important to know that this is the only place that you can get the Bounty Hunter armor. You have to kill them, kill the wild spawns, because I don't believe the ones in the Deathwatch bunker drop Bounty Hunter armor, but I know 100% that they do not drop the other item, which you can only get through these wild spawns, and that is the jetpack base. Yes, with Publish 7, we can now actually craft jetpacks, which is can only be done only in the Deathwatch bunker. But one of the components, most of the components for the jetpack are actually farmable within the Deathwatch bunker itself. The jetpack base, however, is the only one that cannot be obtained within the Deathwatch bunker and can only be obtained by these wild Black Sun spawns. So that's one of the main reasons why we do this. Now you may also notice I have just been standing here this whole time. That is because right now, with the way the spawns work, all of these Black Sun spawns in the wild will actually spawn a total of 3 times. So you have the initial spawn, and then you have 2 additional respawn waves, just like it would be like if you were doing a mission from Mission Terminal. How you would kill all the creatures, attack the lair, they would respawn, you'd kill them all again, you attack the lair some more, and then they'd all respawn again. It's the same thing, except there's no lair here. So actually, when you find one of these groups, after you kill all the mobs, don't go anywhere because they'll actually come back. Now, of course, it is possible that, you know, if someone else was black sun hunting a little bit ahead of you and they didn't know that they respawned, it is possible that they would kill the initial wave and then drive off. That way, when you find them, maybe it'll only respawn once, and that would be the reason why. So you never know exactly how often or how many waves they're going to spawn, but it's worth sticking around, maybe like 5 minutes or so, just to see if they respawn, because you could be stuck driving around a very long time trying to find the next group. It's very likely that if you do come out black sun hunting, occasionally you will go an entire buff cycle without finding a single group. That's just the way it works. And people say, you know, wow, why would you spend so much time looking for something that might not even be there? And honestly, I don't know, because it's an MMO. That's what you do. In Galaxies, you make your own fun, and it's fun to try and get rare pieces of loot. And it's even more fun to fly around in a jetpack and have everybody go, ooh, ah, look, a jetpack. So that's why I do it. So now we wait. The other guy should respawn any second now. But I guess it's good that I found this first group so quickly, because now I don't have to drive all around the planet and edit the video. There he is. You do want to be careful that when you fight them, you don't position them so that when you kill them, their bodies will go into a rock or a tree. See, like if I kill this guy, well, now he just moved a little bit, but if he was standing right on the edge of that rock like he was, and I killed him, and his death animation has him like kind of fall over backwards, his corpse would go into the rock, and then it would be very difficult to try and loot him. So this is good here. So yeah, like I showed you, I have this one piece of Bounty Hunter armor. This is the only piece that I've been able to loot in all of my expeditions, so to speak. So it would be really exciting to actually get something different. You know, like a helmet or a chest piece maybe. I don't care. I'll take anything at this point. Nope. Just 605 credits. These are Black Sun credits, however. They're very rare credits. They could sell 605 Black Sun credits for about, 5,000 credits. I'm just kidding. They're the same type of credits. Don't try and do that. And we'll hang out a little bit longer. Good thing about Terrace Classy is you can meditate and cure your own wounds. I can also power boost myself, which takes away some of my mind, but then buffs all 3 of my primaries. And I'm actually not going to edit this, just so you can see the average duration it takes for these guys to respawn. So what we typically do, and we've done it a couple times in our guild now, is actually we'd all come to the same planet and we'll all split up. And we'll just comb the entire planet as best we can. And if anybody finds a group, we will put the coordinates in group chat, and anyone who's nearby will kind of come and help clear out the group. But like as you can see, it's definitely soloable. So the point of the group isn't necessarily to help with the combat. It's more to have people to talk to, because this can be very tedious and very boring to do by yourself. Just drive. Oh, hello. So that's how quickly they respawn. But just driving around the planet looking for mobs is very lonely. So having people out there just driving around with you just to talk to makes the whole process a lot more interesting, or a lot less boring, less lonely. Alright, Woomy Quest, a Black Sun Guard. You know you want to give me some armor. How cool would it be if I actually looted a jetpack base while recording this video? That would be the coolest thing ever. Not gonna happen though. Nope, just credits. And we should have one more spawn. I didn't even look. I usually look on the planetary map to see where we are. So you can see right about here is where I found this group. But again, it's totally random. They could be anywhere on the planet's surface. I think back in the day, they used to spawn up here in the northwest corner of the map. They also used to spawn on this side of this hill here. And those are the two locations I used to hunt them. They also used to spawn around 0, like the center of the map on Endor. I think that was due to a bug. But some people are superstitious about that, and they'll still go and check those areas. But again, like I said, until the developers get the localized spawning working, it doesn't matter where you go. You will find them anywhere, as long as you take the time to look for them. Where is this last guy? Come on. There you are. Picadri Uthana. I love the random names that they gave him. I think that's so funny. It's funny because it's probably using the same code to randomly generate their names as it does like players during the player creation. So you just wonder, like, what if somebody who really didn't care what their character's name was just hit random, you know, generate, and got stuck with a name like Picadri Uthana. That one's not so bad. I mean, I could see that. Of course, he'd probably get called Pikachu. Picadri. But some of the names, they're just bad. Alright, last Black Sun for the video. Make it worth it. Bounty Hunter armor. Jetpack base. Heck, I'll even take another locked container. No, don't knock me down. I kill you. Alright, survey says a dermal analyzer. Woohoo! Just what I've always wanted. Junk loot. Anyway. So yeah, so that's it. After that, you just generate your swoop or whatever vehicle you're using and continue to scan the planet for more. Hopefully you guys have better luck than I do. But the drop rates, I'm not sure what the drop rates are on the Bounty Hunter armor. It's not very high. I think it's like somewhere between 2 and 5%. That's just a guess though. I could be off. It could be as high as like 10. But I think it's pretty low. However, the jetpack base, ready for this? The jetpack base has a 0.5% chance. Yeah. 0.5%. I don't know if I mentioned that in my published 7 video or not, but that's a pretty rare drop. a 1 in 200 chance of dropping. So you're gonna have to do a lot of killing, a lot of black sun killing to find one of those, or just get really lucky. Who knows? But anyway, that's that. I'm gonna continue hunting for now, but I'm gonna end this video here. Hopefully this guide has given you guys some tips or showed you how to survive against the dreaded black sun. But unfortunately, there really is no better way to find them other than to just drive around and look for them yourself. I wish I could give you guys some better tips on how to do that, but it really is just that simple and just that tedious. So, thank you guys for watching. Bobies1 here, and I'll see you next time.